everyone. Come on into Act Now Live. I'm Dr. Natalie Phillips.
Hi, everyone. I'm Reggie Corona. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday. I hope you guys had a safe Halloween last night. I can't believe we are in November already. It's crazy. We're going to go over some logistics as people are rolling in. So, Reg, I'm going to have you talk about our YouTube channel.
Yep, we're on YouTube, guys. So if you miss us live here on Facebook, or you don't catch the replay on Facebook, or maybe you just aren't a Facebook person, or you are, but maybe you know someone who's not. Catch us on YouTube. We put all of our shows up on YouTube. You can go there, find us at Act Now Guide. And once you're there, make sure that you subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you get notified every time we drop a new video.
Yes. And we are going to also put this up. This is exciting. As you know, we are on Amazon, but Reg, what's the big milestone that we did?
Oh, the big milestone is that we sold 100 books on Amazon. Yay!
Yay!
So cool. For those of you who know or maybe authors yourself and you've sold thousands of books, our 100 may seem small to you, but for us, that is such an important milestone, and it should be for anyone who's aspiring to be an author. When you reach a milestone like that, you want to celebrate. And so we are celebrating. We're super excited that we hit 100 sales on Amazon. And we want to thank you, those of you who watch our show, who are part of our group. We know you've been buying books, you've been posting and sending your pictures. Thank you. We also want to remind you, please, 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 it is so important that you go out and put a review on Amazon. Hopefully it's a good review. Hopefully you're enjoying the book. And if you want others to be able to enjoy the book as well, it helps to have that review out there, because people are, when they're shopping, they look for those reviews. It helps with selling the book. So
yeah, I had a really good feedback actually on the book that I wanted to share. I had someone reach out and say that while they were reading it, they were thinking of their own daughter and how their daughter, who's a teenager in high school, how she gets stuck. And they were reading our mindset chapter, and they thought, oh my gosh, these are some great things that we can use with our daughter. Why, and help understand, first of all, why she gets stuck in her ways, and maybe kind of help her from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. So I thought that was really cool. So it was a mom that was reading it, shared me how she was going to be able to use it with her husband on their daughter in high school. So we love that type of feedback, you guys.
Yes.
And, if you want to send us a private message, if you want to put it out on Amazon, like Reg was saying as a review, just put the feedback out there. We're really loving some of the things that people are telling us about the book. So thank you guys so much.
Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I love that, to hear that it doesn't just impact adults, it has the potential to impact youth as well. And that's kind of my area of working with youth, and I love that. And I use some of the things that are in the book with my daughter as well. And we talk about a lot that idea of a fixed mindset versus a growth mindset.
Yeah. So before we dive in today, we're kind of leading people into 2021. I know that it sounds weird, like it's only November, but we're preparing people to start having this mindset walking into 2021. I know that a lot of people are just like, let's get out of 2020, already. And I've already seen the funny memes heading from October to November of 2020, just at this turn on this weekend. And so we are preparing you this early, darn right, because we're not going to start in January to get you prepared. We want your mindset to be prepared once 2021 actually rolls around. And so, we're going to talk a little bit about, let's talk about our Action Takers Network and what we did in October. And I'm going to post some links here.
Yeah, so the Action Takers Network, in case you're not familiar, we once a month gather. For those who are interested in joining us, we're on a Zoom call. And the first month that we did it in September, it was just an opportunity to come together. In October, to come together and to just experience time together. No, we did the first one in September.
Oh,
That
we did. We did do a
the
short one.
first,
Yes, we actually did
yeah,
do one
we
in September.
did.
Yeah.
So in October, we wanted to come together and actually move the needle for people. So we didn't want to just be a networking group. We wanted to be a group where we come together and we work on things to move the needle for those in attendance. So
Mhm.
in October, we spent time gaining clarity around one, where you are today, truthfully. You know, what haven't you done? What have you been sitting on? And then we went into looking at your vision for 12 months out, 12
Mhm.
months from now. Where would you like to be? And to, spend time just really visualizing that in a way where it's extremely real for you. And then we spent time going into the why, because the why is the thing that helps to propel you when things get difficult or there are distractions that come along. And we all know that happens. How do you continue to move forward through all of that noise? And so we dug really deep into the why, and we used a tool called 7 Levels Deep. And it was really breakthrough. There were breakthrough moments for a number of people. And it was really, really pretty cool to go
Mhm.
through. And I'm excited about November because November, that was our assess. For those of you who are familiar with the ACT acronym, there's assess, commit, and transform. And we try to apply that to everything that we talk about. And so in October, we did the assess piece.
Mhm.
In November, on November 18th, we are going to gather once more and we're going to be doing the commit piece. And we're really going to go through looking at, taking that vision and turning it into real goals, and looking at how to take those goals and make them measurable, make them smarter,
Mhm.
and then prepare you for December, which is really the execution of that. So I'm excited.
Yeah. Yes, me too. I love the assessment phase. I love the commitment phase as well. So we're kind of talking a little bit more about the commitment phase as we head into November. So that was up until October. I did also post the link. They're Eventbrite links because we want you to sign up and then we send you a Zoom link for the call. And
Mm-hmm.
in these Action Takers Network calls, we also break out and hopefully have you guys meet each other a little bit more intimately and make those connections and accountabilities. So in our comments, there are clickable links to the Eventbrite link for the November networking call as well as the December networking call. And so we are super excited to head into November and walk people through the commit phase. So, talking a little bit more about clarity and vision and heading into 2021, we want to give you steps today to help get you started into this commitment phase. So, the first step that we want to talk about is to write things down specifically. Whether it is in your phone, I like to do a lot of things in my phone. And so I've got notes for tons of things. I know Reg has a process as well. And I love her word clouds and, her word mapping and everything like that. But what does writing it down specifically mean to you, Reg?
So writing it down for me is, I'm big on journaling, and I spend a lot of time. I try to make sure that I have quiet time daily and that I'm writing things down. And I'm really making sure that I am looking at my goals that tie into my vision for the year.
Mhm.
Um, and so writing it down, when we're in this phase, which we are preparing to do, I'm preparing to do for the new year, many people are,
Mhm.
um, writing it down is really sitting down and thinking about, so what do I want? And what do I want things to look like next year? And taking into consideration, we talked about our word of the year last week.
Mhm.
So my word of the year for 2021 is multiply. So taking into consideration multiplying and multiplication,
Mhm.
what does my vision and my goals look like around multiplying in
Mhm.
2021?
Yeah. And I love that. Starting with your word, which is what we walked through in our last show last week. And if you missed it, head over to YouTube. Like we talked about earlier, it's sitting there. If you want to scroll through Facebook, it's still sitting there as well, or on Instagram as well. But taking that word and being a little bit more specific with that word. I have whiteboards too. I love doing whiteboards because they're easily erasable and you can, move things around. And I think it's similar to what Reg is doing with her mapping of her word as well. But I love what you said about the specific things that you write down when you're either journaling or spending time trying to figure out. It's not just about writing that word out, but it's trying to figure out the processes or some strategies behind it to get you to that place, so that you're ready to go in 2021. And then also, we teach different ways to chunk out time so that it's not so overwhelming. But even that's specifically writing down goals. 90 days is what we've talked about. We have it in our book as well, but 90-day chunks of time so that you can accomplish things and then maybe reset and start the next 90 days over. So however you want to sit down, and write it specifically, write down different goals, strategies, processes that you're thinking about. I think it's important to do that.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, so let's go to step number 2. Spend time visualizing. I know Reg had talked about this earlier as well. Whether it is alone, whether you're in quiet, which I think is really hard for some people to just turn everything off completely. I know it's for me,
Yeah.
but I've learned that when I do, man, do I get things done and the juices are flowing in my head. If I actually sit in quiet, which means not even, with my phone near me, take my watch off because I don't want to feel any, notifications coming through, these 5 senses. I love that, we talk about these 5 senses because it is something where to shut people out or to shut things out in order for you to focus on visualizing things, I have to, take things, my watch off, put my phone away so I don't have anything like that, tactile or visual. I like it to be quiet as well. That's the hearing part, right? How do you spend time visualizing, Reg?
So I do. I get alone and quiet, and if I have to, I put my AirPods in with the soundproofing feature, so
Mm-hmm.
that things are really, really hard for me to hear. I really like for it to be very quiet. Sometimes I'll shift and I'll play like Chopin, and that really helps the flow of thoughts for me. Um, but really closing my eyes and seeing myself, what's the expression on my face going to be when I hit that milestone, that the goal that I'm looking to achieve, or the goals that I'm looking to achieve in the next year? What are the smells that I'm going to smell? Am I going to be in a restaurant celebrating, or am I going to be at home? Am I going to have wine, or am I going to? So for me, it's like emotion is generated through the 5 senses. And so I try to engage those 5 senses when I'm visualizing, because that's what really helps to lock in the reality of that thing that right now may just be a dream. It may just be an idea, especially if I haven't done anything on it yet.
Mm-hmm.
But I love what you talked about as well in terms of disconnecting from technology. One of the problems I am part of a mastermind group with Brandon Bouchard, and we had a call this morning, and one of the things that we talked about was intentionality, and it was really around communication. But it reminded me of how we are so locked into our devices and social media and our watches and all of these things that get our attention and that, are vying for our attention all day long, that we're used to being in this world of distraction. But our creativity and our flow really comes when we drown out those noises and we drown out those distractions. So definitely,
Yeah.
That it's easy for me to say, okay, I'm not going to look at my phone. I'm not going to look at
Mm-hmm.
social media. It's probably too easy for me to say that. But that's the only way that I can really get in flow and really
Mm-hmm.
focus.
Yeah. And if you think about it, like I even wrote an article about disconnecting to connect. It
Mhm.
makes sense though. When I go out and have coffee with somebody or dinner, I have my phone out, but it's face down and I don't look at it unless I have to pull it out or unless they go to the restroom or whatever it is. But I
Mhm.
am connected to that person, even though I either leave it in my purse, my phone, or I never take it out, or I have it and I have it face down. But there is
Mhm.
some things of disconnecting in order for you to connect. So I like both of the ways that we talked about the five senses to kind of
Mhm.
shut out the five senses. But I love that's what we talked about in our October Action Takers Network is visualizing. I don't want people to forget what you just said either, is visualizing what it will look like, whether it is the expression on your face, where you are, where you're going to place yourself. I know we talked about we're going to all visualize us all together at a retreat, with
Yes.
our feet in the sand. There's
Mhm.
different ways that you can use those senses, whether they're disconnecting to get ahead or to visualize yourself. So I love that that's both ways that you can use those senses in disconnecting as well as connecting to what you're visualizing, your vision, right? And to have that
Mhm.
clarity. So that's a really, really neat way to look at that. All right, step 3, find out what it will take to make it happen. So I know this probably excites you because you're the strategist. You always like to have a plan. And it's not only having a plan is, a lot of the times what I learned from Reg is think about what you're doing, write it down as you're going along and see if it's replicable. And what I've learned is as you kind of step back from looking at how you're going to approach things, you're able to see, okay, this is going to work or this hasn't worked, and you can kind of shift and mold to make whatever process it is applicable and replicable, right? And so
Mhm.
I love that here in this step, you can look at what you want to accomplish, but then also take that extra step and look at maybe resources that you will need to make it happen, right?
Yeah, definitely. So, one of the things that when I'm coaching, I work with clients on is don't get hung up on the how. And you will hear me
Mhm.
say that all the time because that's what happens most of the time. Most of us think about something, it's something we really want to do, and then we get stuck on the how. Well, I don't know how to do that. I don't know how
Mhm.
it's going to work. I don't know how. And then we ruminate on that. We just sit in that space and we can't move beyond that space because we're so focused on the how. And that the how has its place and it will come. And
Mhm.
this is where it comes in. So you've now thought about the what. What does it look like? You're locked into it. We didn't talk about here, but in October, in the Action Takers Network, we talked about the why and having your deep
Mhm.
why and why that's so important. Um, but now comes the what do I need to make this happen? And some of it is how, but
Mhm.
some of it may not be how. Some of it may be who, right?
Mhm.
Who is the resource that is going to help me to get to the how? Because I don't know how to do it. And it's okay that I don't know how to do it. I know Natalie, or I know Reg, or I
Mhm.
know whomever that knows how. And if I can connect to that resource, then that will help me with the how. That's a strategy, right?
Mhm.
There are also things like, what are all of the things that I have on my plate that are keeping me from getting to? Like, I know how to do it, but I can't get it done because I can't get to it because I'm juggling all of these different things.
Mhm.
Well, you probably need to look at delegating some things, removing some things,
Mhm.
and clearing the path so that you can do what it is you should be doing, and so that you can operate in your genius zone, so that you can leverage what you are really good at doing to make it happen. So this is the piece when you're looking at how do I make it happen, or what do I need to do to make it happen, you're identifying the people, the resources. Maybe it's financial resources. Maybe it's just time that you need to allocate. It's looking at all of those things so that ultimately, when you create a plan, you can attach some strategies to help you execute.
Yeah, I love this. And so I'm hoping that you guys are seeing this, that these are some of the things that you have to be thinking about now so that you
Yes.
can hit, we want you to hit the ground running come 2021. And so we're trying to prepare your mindset to start earlier to get all of these things in place and to have the time to think about it too. I think as the year comes up and, as we're heading closer to the end of December, I think a lot of people, might worry like, oh my gosh, okay, I've got to get some resolutions on the page here, or whatever it is. And so start earlier. Give yourself some time so that you can take that time to visualize or take that time to write things down or to share it with somebody or to start the networking now. So that way you have that accountability starting in 2021. And so I'm hoping that you guys are seeing that, it starts now. It starts now to start thinking about what you're going to be doing and what you want to be, where you want to be in 2021. All right. Step 4 is to create those smarter goals. And you guys have heard us talk about this. In fact, I will write in another one of a banner here about what the smarter goals are. And Reg, you can talk about this one here.
Yep. So many of you have probably heard of SMART goals. And this is just a slightly different take on SMART goals. It's actually SMART goals plus 2 additional things, thanks to Dr. Amit Gosalia, a good friend of Natalie's and mine now. And he was on the show and we were talking about goals, and he mentioned smarter goals, and we absolutely loved it. And we even included it in the book. And so specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, time-bound, evaluate, and reward. And so, I'll take the first couple and then Natalie can move through the others. But specific, you want to make sure that when you're identifying a goal, you are very specific as to what that goal is. You don't want to be broad. You don't want it to be so nebulous that you can't do the second thing, which is measure what the goal is, whether or not you've met it. So it needs to also be measurable. So while you are making it specific, you also want to make sure that you have quantifiable items identified in the goal, such as numbers, things that you can count, that allow you to measure it.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
I was going to say attainable, obviously, you don't want to reach too high and out of bounds because, again, these are goals that it can be very small to start off with as well. Just something that's going to get you to reaching a goal. And every time you reach a goal, it's going to get easier and easier to set the next one, So attainable, you want to make sure that it's something that you can reach when you either write it down specifically, adding that time bound. We had talked about maybe it's a 90-day goal, maybe it's a week goal. I know that Reg and I set goals to do something for 3 days in a row. That's a short goal, right? Do something for 3 days in a row to create that streak or to create the momentum to lead you into a streak. I am still closing my rings. This was September we started it. So for the month of September, for the month of October, I'm now heading into November. I am planning. So I have continued to, just from that small 3-day goal, we made it time bound, but it was attainable for me and it made me continue, right? So, we talked about attainable, make it relevant. Depending on what your I guess your big vision is, if you kind of chop it up into smaller areas, you can make your goal very, very relevant to that small little goal that you need to make in order to get to that next one. So that's time bound or relevant. And then also time bound, we have talked about it can be a short time or it can be a longer time for 90 days. And then you've still got your 1 year. Like, I want to be done with this in November or December of 2021. So there's lots of different ways to set time-bound goals. And then the evaluate and the reward. This part was the part that both Reg and I were like, wow, that's brilliant. And we love it. Because when you're setting goals, you can come to that finish line and you can be like, okay, I finished it. I'm just going to start heading into another goal, that I'm setting, or now what do I need to do? It's not exciting. For me, the evaluation part and the reward is, first of all, stepping back in the evaluation part to see what worked and what didn't work, and how do I need to make my next goal, right? That's the evaluation process. I think that's very important. but the reward goal is the part that makes me excited because you give yourself a little reward in order for you to continue to take action. I loved the smarter goals that we have talked about in our book, thanks to Dr. Amit Ghazalia, and now that we implement as well. So I love that.
Mhm. And
Mhm.
I like looking at evaluate. Sometimes I don't do it every day, but I try to. I definitely do it every week, so that I can evaluate whether I've hit the mark on the things that I'm trying to do. And sometimes I don't, and I give myself that grace and recognize, okay, well, maybe I was being a little bit too aggressive, or maybe there was something going on. And so, and then the reward part, absolutely rewarding yourself. And maybe rewarding yourself is just, giving yourself 30 minutes to just
Mhm.
enjoy something that you really enjoy and to say, I was awesome. I am awesome because I met my goal.
Yeah. So we've got Zaki. I think this is the mom of my friend Kate Pejman. And so she says that she's got a plan and a goal to do in 2021. That's awesome. If you want to and you're so bold, put it down. Even put a small little goal down in the comments so that we can kind of help keep you accountable. You guys, so we're doing this. We love to show up here every week. Come join us every week. We're always here in the same time, same place, every Sunday at 3:00 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 4:00 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. We would love to get to know you better. Come join us in our private Facebook group as well. We've got that, where we have people sharing different things. I think our friend Diane just joined finally the Facebook group. And we've got people that are talking in there and connecting. And then we've got the Action Takers Network as well. I'm going to put this link back up. So that you guys can see that. But we have Action Takers Network, one in November, one left in December as well, to kind of help walk you guys through the just getting your mindset and getting some goals written down to get you started and get you off and running in 2021. So keep sharing with us and keep showing up and connecting with us as well. And anything else, Reg, before we close off our show today?
No,
All
that's
right.
it. Just think about the rest of this year. There's not much time left in this year. So,
Mhm.
whatever goals you have for this year, if you're on mark to complete those, that's great. Keep evaluating those, keep looking at them. But now is the time to start thinking about, how am I going to hit 2021 hard? How am I going to take what I've been holding inside and start to release it into the world? Because that's the thing. This is a movement to inspire people to take action on those things that they've been sitting on for whatever reason. There are so many things that we have talked about, so many reasons why people hold back. And this year, if no other time, if this year, with all of the things that we've seen, all of the things that we've been through, I think this year is the year that everyone should say, I'm no longer holding back. I'm no longer going to sit on that thing, whatever that thing is. I have a dream and I'm going to make it happen. And 2021 is the year that I am taking action to see my dream happen.
Oh my gosh. Okay, you guys, if that didn't inspire you to get moving, you need to. So come join us next week. We will be here at 3:00 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and 4:00 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, or come join our group. Act Now is a Facebook private group as well. So come join us there and we will see you throughout the week until next Sunday. All right, guys. See you later.
Bye.